Hi guys, today we are riding one of the few folding e-bikes that shatters expectations already at first glance. Because the DAHON Unio E20 is not another light last mile city e-bike, but a serious, complex machine with a 200-watt mid-motor, a torque sensor, a real 9-speed transmission and a battery discreetly hidden in the seat, all of which is packed in a weight of about 18 kilograms, which is almost shocking in a world of electric bikes. We rode it around the city on the bad asphalt and in the real everyday situations where this compact bike of this top brand DAHON simply delight us, so be sure to watch this Unio E20 e-bike video review. The bike comes in a relatively compact box instead of the massive one we are used to. Along with the bike itself, we also get a box with accessories inside. Unio E20 user manual, elastic strap to secure the bike when folded, pedals that we will install later, some stickers and a paperwork, and finally a battery charger with the adequate EU adapter. When you take out the DAHON Unio E20 out of the box, there is no typical feeling that you are looking at the electric bike. Everything looks clean, minimalistic and almost elegant, as if you are looking at the classic folding bike that accidentally decided to be electric. Assembly is minimal and intuitive. First you remove this protection around the bike, leave the steering wheel, adjust the seat pedals and the bike is ready to ride. In reality, the Unio E20 looks compact, urban and very restrained, without futuristic lines that quickly become outdated. The frame is made from DAHON's patent aluminum alloy, which they claim is up to 20% stronger than standard aluminum. The bike is lightweight but sturdy, and the entire structure feels surprisingly stable for a bike that folds in the middle. The low entry makes it almost a step-through bike, which in practice means it's easy to use in the city when stopping frequently and in everyday clothes without feeling that you are constantly climbing onto the bike. Folding is quick and natural, without thinking or searching for the right order. One main hinge on the frame, a handlebar that folds down, pedals that disappear in a second, and suddenly you have a bike that you can put in the trunk of your car, under your desk, in the office or in the corner of your apartment. What really impressed that here is the mass of around 18 kilograms. The Unio E20 is one of the few e-bikes that you can carry up the stairs without any drama, and that's the difference between it and similar bikes in the same category. One of the smartest things about this Unio E20 is the battery integrated into the seat post, which immediately solves the two big problems with the folding e-bikes: weight distribution and visual appearance. It is a Samsung lithium battery with a capacity of around 36 watt 9.5 amp hour, which in real riding gives a range that makes sense and not just looks on the paper. In assistance with the normal pedaling and a realistic pace without any forcing, it is very easy to reach high mileage, and DAHON's claim of up to 100 km in pedal assist mode does not sound unrealistic at all. Charging is easy because you don't have to remove the battery, but you can if you need to, and the entire system is so discreetly that when riding you completely forget that you are sitting on the battery. The motor on this electric bike has a power of 200 watts, and it is an efficient mid-drive motor that, thanks to the ultra-sensitive torque sensor, reacts in just 0.01 seconds. This system currently delivers up to 60 Nm of powerful assistance, which effectively doubles the rider's power when climbing hills and makes it easier to overcome steep terrain, and this is what completely separates the Unio E20 from most folding e-bikes on the market. Because here we are not talking about the motor that just helps the wheels turn, but the system that actively cooperates with the rider. Thanks to the torque sensor, the motor constantly measures how much you are actually pressing the pedals and adjusts the amount of assistance in real time, so the ride feels organic, smooth and incredibly natural. There is no sudden jerk when moving, no feeling that the bike is pulling you without your control, but everything comes progressively, exactly as much as you ask for with your legs. The harder you press the pedals, the more you get in return, but never in an aggressive or artificial way. This is precisely why the Unio E20 resembles a classic bicycle more than a typical e-bike when riding. The motor behaves calmly and reliably without overheating or losing power, and in combination with the 9-speed transmission, you always feel that you are in the right gear for the situations you are in. The small wheels further enhance the feeling of torque, so the bike climbs surprisingly well. The Unio E20 uses 20 by 2.0 inch tires with a relatively narrow profile, which are clearly oriented towards asphalt and a harder surface, and this is felt after the first few meters of riding. The bike rolls very easily, doesn't lose energy and feels lively, especially when accelerating and maintaining speed, which is a huge plus in city riding. Of course, this ace of rolling comes in a certain price, because due to the narrow profile and higher pressure there is no much filtering of bumps. Every hole, bad asphalt or sharper edge is transmitted directly through the frame, so the Unio E20 does not hide the fact that it is a rigid bike without suspension. If the roads are bad, you will feel it, but on the other hand you get precision, control and a very good feeling of safety. The grip is more than solid, even in corners, and thanks to the perfect central mass distribution, the motor in the middle, the battery below, the bike feels stable and calms. Comfort is one of those things that the Unio E20 doesn't impose right away, but over time it turns out to be its quite advantage. The seat is not overly soft, it doesn't have that couch feeling that it's comfortable for the first 10 minutes, but is firm enough to provide the support even after a longer ride. That's why you don't feel tired or broken after an hour in the saddle, which is rare with these folding bikes. The seat post has a huge range of adjustment, and the fact that it is also the battery gives it additional rigidity and stability, so it easily accommodates riders from under 160 cm to over 190 cm without compromising on the body position. It's this ability to adjust that makes the Unio E20 a bike that is easy to share between different riders or adapt to different riding styles. DAHON's V-brakes may not sound particularly impressive on the paper, but after a few days of actual riding, you know that the bike reacts exactly as you expect. The 9-speed transmission fits perfectly with the character of this bike and further emphasizes the feeling of mechanical smoothness. Gear changes are quiet, precise and constant, without skipping, without delay. Everything feels harmonious, as if the motor, cassette and the chain are turned to work together, not against each other. It's this mechanical purity and the absence of jerks and delays that reinforce the impression that you are not riding an electric gadget but a real bike in which is electric are just intelligent support, not the main character of this whole story. The monochrome LCD display on this bike may not cause the wow effect on this first glance, especially if you are used to the colorful large screens with animations, but in real life you quickly realize that this simplicity is its greatest advantage. Everything you need is in one place and it's readable at all times: speed, selected assistance level, battery status and total mileage, without any visual noise that would distract you from the road. 5 levels of assistance allow for very precise power dosing, so the bike easily adapts to your pace of mood. The entire system works intuitively without the need to learn menus or remember button combinations, which in practice proves to be great advantage. The Unio E20 is a folding electric bike for riders who want a natural, unobtrusive riding feel, smartly integrate technology and quality workmanship, but without the feeling that they had to compromise just because they choose a folding format. This is a bike that fits perfectly into city life, in combination with the car, traffic or office, but also in the daily ride of those who want silence, balance and feeling of connection with the bike while pedaling. It is this combination of light constructions, centrally placed weights, mid-drive engine and a real transmission that makes the Unio E20 a city compact e-bike that is not seen as a necessary solution but as a conscious choice for those who know what they want from electric bike. In the video description you'll find links, discounts and additional informations. So if this review helped you, you know what to do. Order your DAHON Unio E20 today because quantities are limited and tomorrow may be too late. That's all for now in this review. See you in the next video. Until then, bye.